Yesterday's high value man always becomes tomorrow's old simp. Now available in paperback and e-readers. John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s in this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Get your copy of John Haynes, 1987 in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Actor Bill Murray has decided to start dating Kelis. No, this isn't a joke out of one of Bill Murray's legendary comedies such as Stripes, Ghostbusters, Scrooged, or What About Bob? No, what's happening here is an actual real event. Bill Murray is currently dating the former wife of rapper Nas, and it looks like they are coming together and looking to start pursuing a relationship with each other. Now, what brought Bill Murray and Kelis together was they were both grieving former spouses. Bill Murray lost his wife, Jennifer Butler, in 2021, who he was estranged from, and Kelis wound up losing her husband, Mike Mora, who died of stomach cancer in March of 2022. And as both of these people were grieving the loss of a former spouse, what happened was both of them decided to come together and decided to form a relationship coming together as they tried to deal with their grief. Now, when I look at Bill Murray's decision to go out here and start dating Kelis, it really looks like to me Bill Murray has sadly fallen into the paradigm of the old simp. Now, back a couple of years ago when I was making criticism of the late Kevin Samuels, I talked about how the high value man becomes tomorrow's old simp. And with Bill Murray, it looks like he's following that paradigm to the letter because he's a very rich and successful 72-year-old man. And with this 72-year-old man running out of people in his life because he basically estranged most of them with his curmudgeonly ways, he is now basically lonely. And with him being lonely, he's looking for companionship in a desperate fashion, and he's looking to hold on to whoever will pay attention to him, and that's what led to him falling into the path of Kelis. Now, Kelis was a black woman who was married to rapper Nas, and as she was married to rapper Nas, she was a very successful musician. However, things between her and Nas didn't work out, and Kelis then got involved with a white guy, I believe, who was Mike Mora, and had 2 kids with him. And then after, sadly, Mike Mora wound up passing away in 2022, Kelis wound up alone. And as she wound up alone, she was out of options because now she was basically a twice divorced widow with 2 kids. And the pool of black men who would have considered looking at her weren't anymore because she had decided to divorce her first black husband, get involved with a white or a biracial black man, depending on who you hear from. And after, sadly, Mike Mora wound up passing away, Kelis' options for relationships dwindled from slim to none because most black men weren't looking to get involved with a twice divorced woman who was out here and just dealing and had 2 kids with one man and 1 kid with another. So her options for men had gone down to slim to none until she ran into lonely old Bill Murray, the old simp. And now with Bill Murray, again, he basically alienated all the people in his life. So now he's looking to get involved with Kelis. And as he looks to get involved with Kelis, sadly, I believe what's going to happen to him is he's going to fall into the old simp paradigm. Now, the old simp usually is a former high-value man, and usually with older high-value men, they usually, yes, they've got lots of money and they've got lots of status, but sadly, they have no real family to go out here and connect with because they've, again, like Bill Murray, been out here driving away the people that they love due to the very cruel way that they've treated people, because many of these men, while they make lots of money, they don't know how to form healthy relationships with men, women, or children. And because all they think about is what they want that's right in front of them, they wind up driving out all the people who wanted to love them out of their lives, and they wind up lonely. And usually what happens to the old simp is that he gets involved with with a woman, and usually he winds up being targeted by female predators, and they're targeting him because they look at this guy as being weak, because at one time the high value man was strong, but the only thing that he has that attracts women to him is his money, and what attracts him to them is that he needs their attention and they need his money. Usually what happens with many of the high value men is that the only thing they've got is their money, and that's the only thing that makes them attractive to the women they get involved with. And that's again how the high value man is transformed into an old simp, because he has no ability to again lead women. He has no ability to go out here and do anything that shows that he is an asset to a woman as related to him being a leader and an authority figure. And basically outside of his resources, he has nothing to offer women. And the only reason why a lot of women get involved with a high value old simp is because they see him as a way to go out here and get money for themselves and be taken care of as they stay with this man. So these women, what they will do is get involved with the old simp, go out here, tell him what he wants to hear, make him feel good, and then as he's going out here writing out checks and also putting them in his will, they're getting paid at his expense. But sadly, it's not that he's getting played. He's reaping what he sowed, later than he sowed, greater than he sowed, and that is the bitter harvest of the high value man. He becomes the old simp because he's the guy who was out here running through the women, and now he's run out of time. And because he's run out of time, what happens is he runs into female predators, and he runs into the female predator who looks to prey on him. So he preyed on women in his prime, and now the women are preying on him. And that could be the case here as related to Bill Murray, as he swirls it up with Kelis. He went from going out here and having a family with his wife that he estranged to now being in a strange and unusual place with Kelis, and this swirling relationship where he's out here with this black woman, and he's again with this black woman because he's driven away most of the people in his life, and now he's out here desperate for some sort of contact, some sort of connection, some sort of person he believes can care for him. But if he had treated all the people in his life with a little care, maybe he would have had a relationship with someone who would have been there for him right now. And again, with Bill Murray, again, it's the lesson I wanted to teach in that classic video about high-value men becoming old simps, because many high-value men, like many women out here who have been indoctrinated into feminism, believe they have all the time in the world. And when they are in their prime, these high-value men, what they do is go out here and mistreat all the people in their lives, believing that they're going to go on forever. However, time eventually catches up with them, and with guys like Bill Murray, who are now heading towards their twilight years, we see an old man who basically is desperate for any sort of human contact and desperate for any sort of human connection. And that is the sad end of, again, many of the high-value men out here who are players, who are guys who are really cruel and curmudgeonly to people and do not show people love. They are desperately looking for love. But what happens is that instead of them being loved, they get used. And that's basically what's happening here with Bill Murray. Again, he's fallen into the old simp paradigm, and Kelis is basically out here looking for a guy to play who's going to pay for her time, because she's already gotten, again, been involved again with two failed marriages, and now she's getting involved with the old simp. And the old simp paradigm is playing with Bill Murray, who has one foot in the grave and another on a banana peel, and he's looking like he's going to fall into the ignominious end of the old simp, because what happens with old simps is that they get involved with younger women, and as they get involved with younger women, they wind up setting themselves up for a fall, and as they set themselves up for a fall, they wind up falling into a trap where they eventually wind up being, while they're with people, the people aren't really with them. And again, that happens because they never really connected and bonded with real people. They never really shared love with people. And while they valued what they had in this world, they didn't value the people in their lives. And that is what makes the life of a high-value man a sad end, because every high-value man will sit there and talk about how great he is, not understanding that if he doesn't go out here and value the relationships around him, he will head down the road to becoming the old simp. And the old simp is usually the guy who gets played the worst because he doesn't have the power or the agency to defend himself from female predators who will prey on him. And sadly, that is just how he reaps what he sows, greater than what he sows, later than what he sows, and that's how he winds up in a bitter harvest, where he goes from being the rich, high-value man with all the money to being an old simp who's on his way to having everything that he made be fleeced out of him by a flock of predatory women. Now, this was a video requested by one of my viewers, and if you want to request a video, you can send a donation to the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to learn how to avoid becoming an old simp like Bill Murray, you can pick up my book, Stop Simpin', Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And you can also find other Stop Simpin' books to break out of the simp paradigm, such as Stop Simpin' in the Workplace and Stop Simpin' in Cyberspace, and books like The Man Crisis and The Misadventures of Captain Save-'em. You can find all these books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS Legacy. The sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.